Hi there, in today's Affinity Designer tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make an isometric cube. When you open Affinity Designer under the new document window that opens up, we're going to make sure that the document unit is set to inches, and we're going to set it to 3 inch by 3 inch with a DPI of 300. Under the Margins tab, we're going to make sure that margins are not included, so just uncheck it. And we're not going to need a bleed for this document. Once everything is set, go ahead and click on Create. Okay, now that the document is made, we need to open up a series of windows to help us with the document. First thing we're going to do is click on Window, and we're going to go to Assets. Then we're going to go to Window and go to Colors. Window again, Layers, Layers, and then afterwards we're going to go to Window and Stroke. Click on Window again and click Transform. Okay, now that all the windows are open, we're ready to go. On a side note, if you notice that one of your windows is somewhere else, it could be on this side of the screen or the other, and they're not together, what I like to do is just click and hold on to the tab, drag and drop, and now they're in one group together. Okay then. Now what we're going to do is use the Polygon tool, and where the Polygon tool is located is right here below the ellipse tool. So right here, the Polygon tool. If it looks a little different, for example, if it's the donut tool or another tool, just simply click, hold, and when you see the window, we can choose whatever tool we're going to use. But right now we're going to use the Polygon tool. Now, by default, the sides are set to 5, but I can use my scroll wheel to set the number to 6, because we're going to make a hexagon first. So with the scroll wheel on my mouse, I can set it to 6, or I can type the number 6, or I can click this down arrow and use the slider. But I'm just going to set it right there. I'm going to go ahead and go to the center of the document, holding Control and Shift, click down and drag like so. And if you're using a Mac, you use Command and Shift. Okay, now that the hexagon is created, what we're going to do is, while it's selected, go to the Transform window, and I'm going to set it to 2 inch by 2 inch. That's the width and the height. I'm going to go ahead and set it to the center. To center this, I'm going to click on this alignment tool, and then go to Align Center, and then align in the middle. And there we go. I'm going to click on the hexagon. I'm going to change the color to blue. Really pops. And make sure that there is no stroke. So this is the fill color, and right here is the stroke color. I'm going to go ahead and take that off by clicking that icon right there. Okay. Now, for the next step, you want to make sure that snapping is turned on. In my case, it is. If it looks like this, the magnet in this box with the gray color, that's fine. That means it's on. But if it's off, it looks like that. So now it's turned on. Go ahead to the pen tool, which is right here. And what we're going to do is click on one part of the hexagon, shift, click, go to the other part of the hexagon, shift and click again, and now we have a straight line. Go to the stroke menu, the stroke window right here, and I'm going to set it to 1 point. I'm going to go to the move tool right here, and what I'm going to do now is split the shape of the hexagon into 2 different shapes using the stroke. While this line is selected, go ahead and hold down shift and then click on the hexagon. Now both shapes are selected. We're going to go to Layer, Geometry, and we're going to click Divide. Now we have 2 shapes. What I'm going to do is change the color so I can see the difference. Change the fill to a darker blue. And then click on the shape, and then Control C to copy, Control V to paste. See, there's two shapes now. And if you're using a Mac, as Command C, Command V. We're going to flip this shape right here. I'm going to bring it down and align. Now if you notice the shape is hidden, what we're going to do is move it forward one like that and select the shape here. So now this shape and this shape is selected, right, like so. I'm going to go to Layer, Geometry, and I'm going to click Add. And again, I'm going to click Move Forward one. Now this is one shape. See? The next thing we're going to do is click this shape again, this diamond we created, and we're going to do Control C and Control V. That's copy and paste. And take note, see, we got two of these. What we're going to do is we're going to use this shape to cut this shape right here. Go ahead and just illustrate that. So I just changed the color so I can show you this is going to be the color used to cut this shape out here. So click the top and bottom shape. You're going to click Layer, Geometry, and we're going to click Subtract. This is the original, and if you lift it up, look at that. Okay. Now what we're going to do is use the pen tool again, which is right here. We've got to make sure it's in alignment, which it is, and holding down the Shift key, Shift, click there. We're going to go to this corner right here and click again, and now we have that line. Go to the stroke window and make sure it's set to 1. That way we can see the line. Using the Move tool, we're going to go ahead and make sure the line is selected as well as the shape. We're going to go to Layer, Geometry, and then click Divide. Okay, now we have a total of 3 shapes to create the ISO cube. So what we're going to do is change the color of one of the sides. We're going to go to the color window, change it to something else entirely. Yeah, that looks about right for me. Okay, now we made an isometric cube. Now the next thing I'm going to do is make this cube into an asset. And what an asset is for example, you have to use the same shape or icon that you created over and over again. So instead of creating it from scratch, what you can do is just set it to your assets menu and utilize it whenever you have to. First thing we're going to do is make these 3 shapes into a group because they're all separate. So using Control A or Command A on Mac, we're going to make sure all these are selected and then go to Layer and Group. Now they're grouped together, and if we look at the Layers menu, they're all grouped together. Okay, let's go to the Assets window, and what we're going to do is create a new asset. I'm going to click these 3 lines. So again, Assets window, these 3 lines, and create a new category. When the window comes up, you can name it however you want. For this tutorial, I'm going to call it My Shapes. Okay, now that the category is created called My Shapes, what I'm going to do is, number 1, make sure this group is selected, which it is, and I'm going to go ahead to these 3 lines, and I'm going to click Add from Selection. And there we have it. Our isometric cube is now in the assets that you created. Now go ahead and click on this isometric cube here on the canvas and delete it. And then click this group, hold it down, and bring it over here. See? And you can bring as many as you want. Now let's say, for example, you want to take this isometric cube and change the color. That's quite simple. All you have to do is go to your layers. Because this is a group of shapes that you created, they're going to look like this on the layers panel. what you can do is click this arrow right here, and you can select which curve you want. I'm going to select a curve, which is the top portion. I'm going to change the color to whatever I want. Okay. And I'm going to repeat the step. Make sure that layer is open, select a curve, go to color, change the, there you go. Layers, curve, color, just repeating the process. Okay. And let's say, for example, you want to save this as an asset. So all you gotta do is select it, and because it's a group, they're all, instead of selecting the curve, I'm just gonna select the group. And I'm going to go to the assets window and then click these three bars again and add from selection. There we go. Now I have two sets, one isometric cube here and another right here. Well, this concludes the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Please consider liking, leaving a comment, and subscribing to my channel.